Now, before many of you get up and head out to these protests, let's talk about some of the important that you might need to bring with you. So this right here is my medkit. Now, this is one of my two medkits. This is the one that I would mainly bring to a protest here. A lot of the stuff that I have in here, you probably could use. There is more that I think if you're building a med kit for protests in the United States right now that you might want to add in that I don't currently have in this med kit, but I will tell you what those are and I will show you images. But one of the benefits of having a med kit like this is you can just easily rip it open. So let's say you have one that is very similarly built to this, keeping the zippers somewhat open, but always up at the top. First off, always keep your zips at the top. Don't, if you're shutting it, don't let it fall off to the side or something, because let's say it's dark, you're at the protest and there is shit happening around you. You don't want to have to look down to see where it is, where's the zipper and what you're grabbing. You want to just be able to open this up as it is. Give me one second. Annoyingly. But yeah, so that means you can just open it easily. Shit might fly out a bit, but means you can get it open, without wasting too much time. Because if you're going to be using a medkit like this on the spot, in the field, it means someone's hurt and you need to actually be quick about it. So first, N95 masks. Whether it's for, protecting your face from the cameras, whether, these will work for tear gas, but not great for tear gas. A proper gas mask would be much better, but in a pinch, they'll do. And again, you can pass these out to other protesters that would, otherwise get their face seen. So, other than that, we got trauma shears, scissors for you to be able to cut someone's clothes off in case, let's say they're hit with a rubber bullet and it's caused massive swelling in part of their body. Maybe they already have, let's say, a pacemaker that got hit, and then now that pacemaker's malfunctioning, and you need to be able to rip open their clothes and to check their rhythm, their heartbeat, and to be able to actually ensure that this person is not going to go into cardiac arrest, for example. Or let's say someone got shot with a live ammunition round, whether it's by police or whether it's by some crazy person who brought a gun. You're going to want to be able to quickly cut open someone's clothing and to then work on them. Now, what you're going to want on top of that is you're going to want a chest seal in case, someone gets shot in the chest. You're going to want hemostatic gauze so that you could specifically just take that gauze and just push it into the puncture and try and stem the bleeding. Also, triangular bandages, which I have in here. I don't actually have hemostatic gauze in here. Somebody clip this medkit segment, and this should post as a short. I think this one might actually go a bit too long to be a short, but that is a good idea. Then you're going to want at least one of these, ideally a couple. These are called Israeli bandages, or pressure bandages, depending on how much you are annoyed with the word Israeli bandage. I personally don't care. That's what they're called. These are essentially a bandage that works almost like a tourniquet at the same time. These ones can be a little weird to actually learn how to use, so let me throw in a link here that teaches you specifically how to apply these bandages. There. So a couple of these, at the very least, are useful. What do we have here? Then you're going to want your tourniquets. Now, I have two in this medkit. Here is the main one that you'll probably want to use, and this is the one that you'll see most paramedics using. This is called a Cat 9 tourniquet. These could be difficult. depending on, if the person that you need to apply this to is, let's say, very skinny, you might not be able to get this to actually really clamp down enough. Uh, in that case, you're going to want this, which is a different kind of tourniquet. Whoopsie. This is a rat's tourniquet. Now, I have to retie this up, which I will do later, but just to properly demonstrate it, looks like this. This will be the bit that kind of digs into your skin. These are much more painful than a Cat 9 tourniquet. So, like, you're going to probably prefer the other one. This is your emergency in case, like, you can't get the other one around a person. But then again, if you're going to buy a med kit like this, even just, like, the bag, I mean, you can buy ready-made ones that have most of this stuff in it. I mean, just even off, like, Temu or something. And they'll have most of the stuff in it. Some vinyl gloves, which are important because some people are allergic to silicone or latex. These are going to be useful for a couple different scenarios. Now, these are emergency Mylar blankets in case, let's say, somebody is suffering from heavy bleeding. This will keep their body temperature somewhat consistently stable, but also this could be used not necessarily in the summer. I would go so far as to say that actually that would be unsafe to do this in the summer, but to have a Mylar blanket wrapped around you that is then covered with a thick or medium to thick cloth, like a jumper, a cardigan, a sweatshirt, whatever it is. This will help dampen some of the signatures that drones will pick up from you, such as the MQ-9s that were flying all over Los Angeles for this entire month to track protests there. This would work in that case in trying to reduce your thermal signature and to reduce your general, like, trackability via the drones. But also, like, are useful in the case of somebody is hurt and somebody needs to keep their body temperature stable. What's up, Conrad Petersburg? We're just talking about building a med kit and stuff that you might need to bring with you to a protest. Flashlight, good to have, obviously, always. Spare batteries for one as well. And then finally, in this med kit, then we have the actual, like, mini med kit in the bigger med kit, and in here I have, like, tweezers, some safety pins, a third tourniquet. This one is going to be the easiest one to use and probably should remain as a spare in case, let's say, the Cat 9 or the rat's tourniquet isn't working for you, or even, like, in the case of the Cat 9 being too large, you could opt for this instead of the rat's tourniquet, because the rat's tourniquet is genuinely quite a bit more painful. You're going to also want lots of, like, wound tape, as we said, with the hemostatic gauze to pack in. You're going to want some other, like, sterile gauze pads. More bandages. Those ones are triangles, the same as the other ones. I didn't realize I had two of those in here. Plenty of, Band-Aids. Oh, thank you, Shower Chat, for the follow. Much appreciated. Non-woven pads. All of this, pretty easy to find. Another pair of scissors in case, you're working as a team. Maybe there's somebody else who's trained in first aid. To be fair, like, you don't even have to be trained in first aid to do a lot of this stuff. So, like, let's say you're at a protest and there's some injured people, you might be able to pass out some of these, like, medical supplies to other people in the group, and then go about, like, helping several people at a time. So it's good to have spares of, like, your scissors, your shears, your bandages, like these ones, or these ones, or these ones, or these ones, and ideally these ones. especially if we're talking about, protests in the sense of, these protests, because there is a decently high chance that, like, massive blood loss could be something that you're trying to treat with that, and you're going to want a specific med kit built to handle massive blood loss. Sharpie is a good addition. Yes, that's the other thing that I actually need to add into this med kit is a Sharpie to write on the tourniquet how, like, the time that it was put on, because oftentimes you'll see this in like war zones where someone will put a tourniquet on an injured person, and then they will just keep that on until they get to like a hospital or something, or wherever they can. And if that's been on for too long, that's, I mean, like, we saw this last week when we were looking at a couple videos on Ukraine, where if you keep that tourniquet on for too long, that limb goes bye-bye. And seeing how long it's been since you've put that tourniquet on is useful in knowing that. It's also good for noting vitals if you are taking them. Yeah, specifically with like Cat 9s, you'll often see, like, if you've ever like known any EMTs, you'll see them write that stuff along here, like the time that it was often applied, as well as like vitals that they might check in with. Get some industrial work pros or industrial Sharpies. They'll write while wet or in dry environments. That's good. Good call, actually. Some alcohol-free cleansing wipes, also good, and just a pack of Q-tips. All of that being crucial. And some alcohol pads as well, because you are going to want the alcohol variety here. Don't forget antiseptic and bottled water. Well, yes, this is the med kit that I have built here, but this is not necessarily the med kit that you're going to want in the case of like protests in the United States right now. Again, you're going to want one much more geared towards large-scale blood loss or concussions. Ideally, you have one of each. You have one to deal with blunt force trauma, and you have one to deal with like deep impact wounds. But other things that you're going to want to include in these kits, beyond just what we've shown here, are going to be, again, more tape, more bandages, the tweezers, got the, sorry, I'm just trying to put all this stuff away and open up, like, the space in front of me a bit. Gotta keep forgetting to put stuff in here. It's not bad if you have double ups. Butterfly sutures, splints, ace bandages are also good. Exactly, all of those. Actually, butterfly sutures, I would go so far as to say, like, really don't worry about that unless you are a medical, like, professional, like, unless you have training in how to use these. In a lot of cases, like, that could get you, like, sued, even. So I would probably avoid something like sutures. You're going to want to get someone to a yeah, it's a protest, like, you want some triage ability, but the goal is to be able to stabilize somebody enough that you can get them to a hospital, rather than treating them entirely in the field. Yeah, you're not gonna, like, oh, like adhesive butterfly sutures, that's fair enough. Again, like, if you can get someone to a hospital instead, probably the better way to go. Ideally, just stabilizing them for them to be able to make the trip safely. Other things that you're going to want in here, ideally, you have some eye protection, whether it's goggles, whether it's safety glasses, whether it's just like your glasses. You want something to shield your eyes from. For example, like, if you are going to be using N95 masks in the field here, whether it's to, like, keep yourself safe from pathogens, whether it's to keep yourself safe from, let's say, splatter, if you're working on somebody who's injured, or if it's just to keep your face hidden from the cameras and the surveillance infrastructure, having these are helpful, but also you're going to want some form of goggles for your face. Yeah, look, I really would agree with brain matter. There, sutures and wound closure should not really be done in the field, as it's an infection risk, unless you genuinely need to. What's up, Natty? Yeah, I think you've been here before. I recognize you. we're just talking about building a medkit to bring to protests at the moment. Now, I do have a second medkit, although that one is currently in the works of being built. But I can go grab it and see if there's anything in there that I don't have in here. But other than what I've shown you first in this first and foremost, we have more disposable gloves. I would bring more than 1 to 2 pairs. I would bring 3 or 4, really. Again, especially if you're bringing enough extras to be able to pass out among volunteers or someone else who might be trained in like first aid at the protest. So having extras is good there. You want sterile gauze pads, more the merrier there. Adhesive bandages, so like bandages that you could just stick onto a wound. Chest seals, for example, are a useful thing that you could have in the case of massive blood loss, and that's not a suture. That will prevent more blood loss while you get that person to a hospital. By the way, what the hell is going on in the USA? Fascism. That's what's going on in the USA. Again, hemostatic gauze for, promotes rapid clotting, and you can pack a wound with it, which then you will seal over, keeping it sealed for longer. Do saline solutions for water or eye irritants. Don't put anything other than water in your eyes, please. Do not put anything other than water in your eyes. Stuff like milk has not been proven to be effective against tear gas more so than water, and is more of a risk of infection or more of a risk of allergies or whatnot. It doesn't really matter, but bring some burn gel or aloe vera. Fucking cops do love to throw out canisters that are very hot and shoot them directly at people so that if they get hit, they might get burned. If you can, some instant cold packs might be nice. Again, the emergency blankets there are important and can be used with like multi-purpose. I'm currently building this one, so it's fairly empty in here. But again, same type of med kit, so you can rip it open just like that. And in here, what do I got? Elastic bandage. Yeah, actually, you probably are going to want one of those too in case someone like sprains their ankle or their wrist or needs like help moving around. Got another tourniquet in here, some more medical tape. Here is a bigger Israeli bandage or pressure bandage. Again, like, you should have a few of these ideally. These function as a bandage that kind of works at the same time, almost like it is both a bandage and a tourniquet. I never thought I would say USA used to be good, but here I am. Yeah, America is literally run by the Taliban right now. The Al-Qaeda, really, is the government of this country. Some more bandages. These are PBT bandages. In here, yeah, see, this one's more for, like, concussion or blunt force injury. I even have, like, a fucking metal spork in here for some reason, in case, like, somebody can't, I don't know, hold a fork and a knife for whatever reason that is. I think that one actually came with this kit. More Mylar blankets, more bandages, more antiseptic, blah, blah, blah. This one's pretty much the same. So that's pretty much it for a med kit. What the stuff I showed you in this one should do pretty well for most use cases. The only things that I would definitely add in here that weren't already in here are, again, a Sharpie, hemostatic gauze, and probably some like eye protection, some more gloves, and a chest seal. Those are the things that I'm missing in there for the time being. Icarich, we should have